So let's say that you found this wonderful article that relates to your dissertation, and you have either read it and you know that it's the perfect thing, or you don't have time to read it now but you think that it may be helpful. You can save your article to your Zotero library so that you can have access to it later, and so that you can cite it if you decide that it is an applicable piece of information. So one of the really great things about Zotero is that it comes with plugins for your web browsers and for Microsoft Word. So in this section, I'm going to show you how to use the plugin for the web browser. So if you're not familiar with plugins, what you would want to do is navigate to the Zotero website and look for a file that is for the plugin. And then once you have that file installed, you should be able to click onto your settings for your web browser. This is using Chrome, and you should be able to go to Settings and Advanced, and you'll want to go to System, I believe. No, I'm sorry, you'll go to Extensions, and then in Extensions you will see all of the different plugins that are available that you have downloaded for your website. So you'll see that Zotero Connector is here, and that is what you'll need. So you need to make sure that the blue toggle switch is enabled. Here, the gray one, this is showing that this is not an enabled plugin, and the blue shows that it is enabled. So you want to make sure that it is in fact enabled, and you should see up here a little button that will say something to the effect of Zotero is online, or it'll have a Z. Or if you are in the article itself, what you'll see is something that looks like a PDF. So you just go ahead and click on that, and then you'll see that it tells you which sublibrary that you are attempting to save your source to. So I would click down, I would go to More, I'd go up here to Dissertation, and I would click Done. And now if I pop into my Zotero library, which is here, I can see that the Carol Dweck piece has been added to my library. Now, of course, once you are pretty far along in your dissertation, you're going to have a substantial library of resources. So that's where Zotero really comes in handy, because you don't have to try to keep up with all this yourself or keep copies of all these articles. You can then go into the library, you can click on the link, it'll show you where you got the information from, it'll show you when, etc. And then you can actually use the addresses to navigate back to the original document. So that is how we use the plugin for your web browser, in this case Chrome. So here's where the real fun begins with using Zotero. A lot of people use Zotero to manage their articles and journal publications, etc., but they don't use it to its fullest functionality, and that's unfortunate, because it can be a real time saver when you are trying to pound out some chapters of your dissertation and you need to put the citations in, and you don't want to lose your train of thought by having to go and look things up, or when you are doing a discussion post at the 11th hour on a Sunday evening. Not that anyone would ever do that. You really don't want to waste any extra time having to go in and properly format your sources. So I'm going to show you real quick how to use the Microsoft Word plugin for Zotero, again, you need to go to the Zotero.com website and find the plugin for Microsoft Word and download it. And once it's in there, you'll notice that you now have a tab in your Word documents for Zotero specifically. So now comes the fun. I want to talk about some things that I have learned during my dissertation process, my research, and I want to make sure that I'm quoting people properly, etc. So I get to my first time that I would like to use an inline citation, and I want to quote Dr. Carol Dweck. So I've written my according to Dweck. Now I need a citation, and I don't want to go looking this up. So you click Zotero, you click Add Citation. It asks you which edition. We want to use our new 7th edition because our dissertations and everyone coming behind us will need to be submitted in this format. We click OK. And then you get a little pop-up right here on your screen, and I'm going to type in Dweck. Now, as you can see, I love Dweck, and I have downloaded a ton of things from Dweck, so I want to make sure that I am quoting the right article. So we're going to go with the 1995 article on implicit theories. So I select that, and now I have an actual citation available. Now, I'm not going to put Dweck there because I've just named Dweck, so what do I want to do? I want to click on this, and I want to click Suppress Author. And then click Enter, Enter, and then boom. Now that seems like a little bit of work just to get a date in there, but the reason that you want to do it this way is that when I finish with my citations, it will automatically create for me a reference page that is in the proper format from the citations that I have used in the paper itself. So y'all bear with me just a second. Typing and talking at the same time, not so fun. So I'm ready for my second one, Add Citation. I'm going to get Claro in there. And again, I'm going to click on Suppress Author, Enter, and some other guy. We're going to use one of our instructors here, Dr. Lanford. Brilliant mind. He probably doesn't talk much about growth mindset, but anyway, we're going to quote him. I also, have used Zotero to save all of my documents for all of my classes so that if I want to talk about one of the readings that we have been assigned for the week, it's already in there. I don't have to go in for each thing that I write and add it to Zotero. I add this again at the beginning of this semester when I'm given the bibliography for my course. I go ahead and I add all of those into Zotero. So now I have my 3 inline citations. Again, it did take a minute to get 3 little simple dates in there, but trust me, when you've written 80, 90 pages of your dissertation and you have all of these in place and then they decide to change what version of APA that we are using with Zotero, all I had to do is go in there and do a refresh and it updates everything, and I don't have to go back and hand key all of the different sources in my reference list. So here I have these things written out. Now I want to add or edit a bibliography, and it inserts it for me, Claro, Dweck, and Lanford, and it's going to be in the proper format, the APA 7th edition. So that's how you use this plugin. It is a time saver. It is truly wonderful. Now there are a few bugs in every version. When they released 6th edition, they did not take out the function that automatically generated the retrieved from date, and so you do have to check and make sure, you have to know what these guidelines are and make sure that Zotero is doing it. But so far, this is my 2nd day of working with the 7th edition. So far everything has been okay, so I'm going to hope and pray that all of the things have been worked out for 7th edition.